Hi everyone, hope you're well and welcome to my channel. So, water and lemon for a nice sore throat. Anyway, Tommy Robinson terror charges tossed. Tommy Robinson has beat the terror charges for not handing over his phone pin to the UK police. The judge ruled the whole stop was unlawful and targeted him for his political views, and that's the problem. He was targeted by his political views by the police. 100%. The police are constantly targeting Tommy for his political views. Whether they agree with Tommy or not, the point is Tommy is right, okay? And for someone to have political views like Tommy has, not only Tommy, but someone who talks about the left, who talk about the government and speak the truth, you're going to get targeted. Tommy said, I'm so glad that judge has given such a powerful judgment now that says it how it was. I was targeted because of my political views. And this is coming from a judge. And if the judge has admitted that Tommy was targeted for his political views, just goes to show, yeah, that even the judge was on his side. He said he was defending journalism, sources, the state called it terrorism, the judge called it what it was, political targeting. You know, if Tommy gets called a terrorist, but somebody who goes and kills people on the train does not get called terrorism, you can actually see what that they are just trying to, you know, the people who talk and the people who say the truth are being targeted as terrorism. So, you know, like even like Tommy said, you can go on holiday, then they see your name and stuff like that, and they'll do you for terrorism because they say, oh, but you know, because you're a YouTuber or whatever, and that's completely wrong. You know, when you talk about the truth or the government or anything, which is absolutely wrong, because at the end of the day, right, if we're saying something, yeah, that we can see and we're pointing it out, then that should be classed as terrorism. That's what Tommy does. He talks a lot about Islam. He talks about what's going on in the country, and he talks about so many other things, you know, even with the government and all of this stuff. So how can it be terrorism? That can't be terrorism, surely. You know, anyone can see what Tommy is doing is not terrorism, you know. And the thing is, for anyone to believe it is, you know, you've got to be one of the lefties over there, you know, to believe that, because Tommy is only saying the truth. You know, he pinpoints everything that goes on in this country, and the problem is, okay, Tommy just doing his job as a journalism. You know, you cannot get be called a terrorism for being a journalist. You know. Do they call people like the BBC News and Sky News terrorists because they go out doing journalism? No, you know. So you can't just do one rule for one and one rule for another. That's completely wrong, you know. Tommy is a journalist and he does his job really well, okay? They want to target Tommy because he does his rallies. He has a lot of people behind him. Millions of people attend. And that's why the police want to target him. There's no other reason, you know. And it's really wrong, you know. And at the end of the day, I'm glad that this judge has stuck up for Tommy. I'm glad that he has realised that Tommy has only been targeted for his political views. The fact that he's a terrorism is nowhere near the truth, nowhere near the truth, you know. And I'm getting fed up of people, you know, targeting him for that. You know, the police need to be policing the streets, right? And, you know, like the other day when I was watching the video about when he was talking about that man who did the stabbing on that train and what, you know, he wasn't getting done for terrorism, but he was. I found it really weird the way he kept pointing out that he was a British national, you know. Oh, he's a British national. He's British, you know. Oh, gosh, you know. What does that even matter that he's British anyway? What does that matter that he's British, you know? If a dog is born in a stable, does it make him a horse? No, it still makes him a dog. So, no. You know, I'm sorry, someone wants to call themselves British and want to do crimes like that. Strip them of their British citizenship and bring them back. It's that simple. You know, I don't call these people British. I call them savages. End of story. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's all I have to say today. Thank you for listening and bye-bye.